March 17th. This is day 69, almost 70 here in Mauritius, and I just found a park not too far from my home, and parks are great places to slow down. It's Sunday, and tomorrow I start back again at the university. And what's different with this week is I won't just be working with university students and future teachers. I'll also be in 3 different cities with groups of high school students. So it's going to be a younger energy, and I'm looking forward to that. I'll be in 2 major cities, Kerpeep and Port Louis, which is the capital, and then a 3rd city, which is actually much smaller. It's more of a town, really. It's called Black River, and it'll be an interesting difference because Black River has a community that's predominantly Creole or of African descent, so that will be a different vibe, and I think that'll be nice because it's nice that there's African and Indian, European influences in Port Louis and Kerpeep, but I think that traditionally Black River has more of a Creole population, so I'm looking forward to all the different schools. Well, actually, I'm not going to be working in schools. I'm going to be working in one school, a Catholic school, in the consulate, and the 3rd place in the American consulate in Port Louis, and the 3rd place is the Harper Lee Carnegie Library in Kerpeep, which will invite various different high school students, about 5 from each school in the area. Let me just turn on the lights. That would be participating. I took this day of Sunday as a day of solace to kind of slow down. I am incredibly fast, and I'm constantly doing projects and thinking about ideas and running around trying to achieve something. And I think that the constant running, you never really stop, huh? Even if you stop physically running, the mind still runs, it still moves. So that can be quite exhausting if you just want to take a break. So I found today to be a day to just take a break because I'm, going to add another 90 students to my class, load. And I already have a good, I'd say 150, 5 classes and about 30 per class. So it's quite a lot. So I think that's why it's really key when you're a fellow to be organizing your time and also organizing how much energy you put into different activities, because it's easy to become really enamored by one activity and put all of your energy into it. Like the activity I had today, which involved getting my internet to work, which I thought it was broken, but I just hadn't paid the bill. Because I'm used to having bills in New York where it's just recurrently taken out like auto pay, but here, in order to do that in Mauritius, I need to have a bank account. It's a local bank account. In order to have a local bank account, I need to have attestation, which is a proof of residency in the home where I'm at. In order to get that, I need to find my landlady, who I think was in India. So there's a series of steps that make things a little more challenging, but I think putting energy into a task, but also not letting the task to completely drain my energy is something that I'm still learning how to do as a teacher and just as a human. I made some nice raps recently. I'm hoping to infuse music into my classwork. What's going to be great about these conversation classes is I'm hoping to be able to work with students who I've worked in the past in New York or in Brazil to connect them with my students who are here now in Mauritius, so that it's an exchange. And the fact that I have a relationship with students in New York and Mauritius would make, and Martinique, New York, Mauritius, and Brazil. I was trying Martinique, but it didn't happen. Will hopefully make the exchange interesting. It'll be through Facebook, and Facebook is a tool for doing great and not so great things based on how you divert your energy or how your energy is channeled or taken out of you. So it'll be unique because I'm hoping to have students every week reflect on different prompts. So one prompt would be on your life in your country. Another one is your family and friends. Another prompt is related to your passions. One is to an unforgettable moment. And the things that I'm really excited for in the conversation group is teaching students how to podcast. So far, I've made it to about 18 podcasts that I've made personally in the past 70 odd days. And I'm hoping to have my students learn how to use the app Anchor. And we'll be posting our podcast eventually. And they're going to do it on issues that are facing young people in Mauritius. I think I'm not limiting it to that, but I think that would be really good to just have as a kind of intention, like what challenges do young people face? And then go out and ask other young people in English, and then go out and ask teachers and ask family members, and just get some insights that are in English, which interestingly is a national language here, but you're going to hear Creole 24/7, which is not a problem. It's a beautiful language. I'm working on learning it. But at the same time, national exams are in English, so that creates a kind of binary challenge, and how to pass exams when maybe your regular reality is not in that language. It's not unfamiliar to me, because in New York I work with students who are immigrants who are learning English while also working on exams for the state. Yeah. So I found a pool down there. I'm hoping to be able to join it. It's right over there. They open at 5 or 6 in the morning. I think 5 in the morning, so maybe I can go before work occasionally. There's a beautiful field here. Maybe I can join some people playing sometime. These homes are right surrounded by the pool. I'm not sure what that building is. I think they have tennis or volleyball over there. So I've noticed that the more time I come out in nature, the calmer and better I feel. So I'm going to make that a regular routine as best as I can, even just at work. Instead of just staying in my cubicle office that I share with 2 other teachers, I have been spending a lot more time outside when I have internet, which is not always, but when I do that. I don't think any other updates. Conversation classes, the university classes are going really well. Been working on a lot of different series of strategies that they can apply to different books that they're going to be teaching, and topics and lessons. And I'm gonna go with a bunch of the other English language fellows to Madagascar, I believe in February, March, April, May. I believe it's in May, around May 18th. And we're going to be teaching a bunch of other teachers over there. So it'll be really unique. And I'm hoping to be able to visit the island of Rodrigue, which is part of Mauritius, but it's has its own reality as well, maybe a little bit slower, kind of maybe how Mauritius was 40 years ago or 30 years ago. I had some amazing conversations with one teacher who was a social historian teacher, and he was describing about, I mean, I've heard this from other people as well, just how the speed of life has made it so people don't have time as much maybe for agriculture or spending time in nature, because they're doing, no longer agricultural jobs, they're doing more service oriented jobs. I guess it's white or blue collar, but that has also made it so that people have less time to be with each other because they're just spending more time working. And one of the impacts, I think, on young people that he was describing was kind of the disconnection of families and the disjointing of the family unit. And I think that's not just a Mauritius thing, that's a global situation. But what ends up taking the place of family often is technology. And I think that this can be a double-edged sword, because technology is such a wonderful resource based on how it's used, but it could also be a force, I don't want to say evil, but it could be a force of great distraction. And it ends up making it hard for students to learn, for instance, if you're so used to being stimulated all the time. So I'm hoping with my conversation classes, I know I'm going to start every class with breathing and teach all those skills, because if we can't be present, then what are we learning? And what we learn, is it just for memorizing? Because it's one of the other challenges. Here in Mauritius, and I also spoke to a teacher in Bahrain who was describing the same situation where students memorize nonstop, and they study English for 8 to 10 years, and they still don't know the ABCs. So we could blame the students, we could blame the teachers, we could blame the schools, we could blame a bunch of people. But I think at the end of the day, the challenge with rote memorization is it allows one to pass the test, but it goes in and goes out because it wasn't an experience, it was just an idea. And ideas, you're gonna remember, if you think about hitting your head on a bench, you're not gonna remember the same way if you actually hit your head on the bench. So it's that same idea. I mean, I'm sitting on a bench presently, you can see. It's the same idea that experiences speak louder than words and thoughts. And I think our job as teachers is to make experiential learning happen constantly. So I'm gonna be doing some activities in those conversation classes. I'll definitely be sharing them soon. And there may be a series of videos I'm gonna be able to do with the university and put it on the Mauritius Institute of Education's website. So that's gonna be exciting. I'm just gonna organize my ideas about it. So that's for now, day 70, day 69. I'm looking forward to start my conversation classes and do our Facebook exchanges between students in Mauritius, New York, and Brazil. So till the next one, have a wonderful evening, afternoon, or morning based on where you are in the world.